Welcome, this is the Reverend Dr. Roberto Rosado, and thank you for joining us today. Today we have an article that we found at Google. We always go through different search engines to find out topics for discussion. And today's article is the San Jose Mercury News concerning the addition of Hawaii on the map of those states that have approved the gay marriage law. And so we're going to, this article says, does this map explain the gay marriage in the U.S.? Written by Ryan Teague Beckwith, I'm sorry, Beckwith, Digital First Media. That was updated. And so they have these maps here. It's just one of the sources that we looked at. And what we're going to do is talk about this issue, this issue of gay marriage, and what it means really. You have this issue where we have, is this an issue of tolerance? As some people seem to want to indicate that this is an issue of tolerance. And basically what's happening, there's something that's going on basically in the United States. And basically what's going on in the United States, we need to understand this, is that of course in the old days, we had the religious zealots, where everything was decided based on their religious ideology. And now, obviously, that is being confronted by those who are atheists and those who don't share the same religious views, which is a problem. Whenever you have religious views allowed to dictate societal norms or laws. So I'm talking about societal norms. Societal norms are different, but if we allow religious views to be partaking of legislation, then we're going to have issues because, of course, not everybody has the same religion. We have the land of the free, the home of the brave. We have many different religions in this country. And for us to admit, which means to permit, religious views to be stamped and cemented, if you will, into public law, then we have the springing forth of the seeds to great conflicts in the future. And this is going to be a big problem. Religious people of faith, as opposed to just religious people, and you see my other comments about that. But and just regular citizens need to be concerned about this situation. The other part that we need to concern ourselves with is also those who are campaigning for these different measures and using the religious or the anti-religious attitude or religion in itself to promote the change in legislation. Now, the change in legislation should happen just based on the need to defend the rights of Americans and the rights to any country's citizens to the benefit of legal protection and legal freedoms, which has been afforded not only by our Constitution, but by the blood of Americans and countrymen who have sacrificed their lives and their limbs, those who have not sacrificed their life, but who have sacrificed their limbs and their lives in defense of the intent and purpose of this country to defend our religious freedom, our freedom of religion is one of the basic freedoms of this country. It's not to defend our right to legislate according to our religious views. It's our right to enjoy our own religious persona and identities without being disturbed and impeded and infringed upon by others and by the government, really, that they not impose any religious views upon the rest. And I think that is reasonable. I think it's unreasoned that any religious pundit should demand that certain laws be according to their religion. This is, again, you're saying that many people feel that this is a Christian country. The United States of America is a Christian country founded by Christian peoples, but the Constitution says that government shall not impose a religion. That was one of the things, because the issue here was that there were different creeds when the country was founded. It was not just Christians. There were different views, and so the issue was whose church and whose views is going to be the dominant one in this country, and the answer to that was none. And so this is the issue that we have to understand, that the government is not supposed to infringe on religion at all. It's not supposed to legislate, and the Christian people are not supposed to demand legislation according to their religious belief. This is where you're making an error, and you're subjecting the church to be subjugated to the whims of a secular government. And I really think that the religious groups are doing themselves and all of us a disservice. We need to separate what is the government's responsibility. You need to understand that most people don't. They need to understand that when Jesus said, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give unto God what is God," he defined separation of church and state long ago. This is not something that was devised by the United States of America. It was told and taught by Jesus Christ himself. Caesar is over there and church is over here. Okay? And they are not united, and they need to be separate. Okay? Each one having its own prerogative, in which the government should have nothing to impose and to control religion in any sense. So this is something that we as Christians, as Christian leaders, and as laymen, we need to educate ourselves in this point, because this is causing great strife, and it will cause greater resentment, if that's even possible. It is against the church and against Christian and religious people. Just simple as that. I mean, the Christian church is, you're spending a lot of time trying to influence the government, trying to put laws in there and stuff like that, when we really are supposed to be teaching the population, the citizens, the souls, otherwise what the Bible calls the souls, it's the soul of man. And we need to be reaching out to the souls of men in order to educate and help them to see the light and to be saved. That's the job of the church. It isn't to go around trying to make the government pass a law according to our own religious beliefs that infringes upon the viewpoints of others. And that in itself is very unchristian-like. It is. So it just doesn't fall into what we're supposed to be. You cannot legislate people to go to heaven. I don't see what the point that the leaders and religious leaders are trying to do. You're trying to legislate heaven. when did the Bible ever say legislate them to heaven? You come to the Lord or become a United States citizen where you will be a Christian by de facto citizenship. It is, it sounds nice, but it's not the reality. So this has to be something that we really need to get straight. What's happening is that the atheists and the other parties involved are viewing wrongly they're viewing that, or opining that it is the religious people, they are the religious people are creating an environment that's not conducive for their having their rights as American citizens. And I'm a religious leader, and I'm not in agreement with that. It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. We are for your freedoms, for everyone's freedom. You're American, you have the right to all the freedoms afforded by the Constitution and by the blood of honest and brave young men and women who have given their lives for the freedoms in this country. So I think it's quite a shame that a viewpoint is being had that is limiting the rights of American citizens. I think that is wrong. I think it's wrong for also these groups to use religion as a scapegoat, saying, well, it's because of these religious fanatics out there that they're fighting against these rights. It should not have to do with anything with religion. It's just sense. You understand that? And we need to stop the foolishness. There's a lot of foolishness on all sides. The foolish religious people who don't want to go out and help people and do what the Bible tells them to do, but they want to go out and tell the government what to do. Okay, so I think that's foolishness and disobedience, not following what the Bible really teaches us to do. And then the other side, using that failure as an argument for their point of view. Your point of view should not include religion, should not include anything to do with the religious groups or anyone of any religious leaning. What should that have to do with anything? Either you have a right as an American citizen to one thing or another, or you don't have it. And that's as plain as simple as can be. And religious views should have nothing to do in the consideration of a right, of an American right, of any citizen's rights under their constitution of that country, whatever country can be. What should religion have anything to do with it? Except for the giving or the attribution of freedoms based on a religion. So if you have a religion, then you are entitled, at least here in the United States, to freedoms, okay, for practicing your religion. And those should be honored above everything. And any citizen's right to the freedoms as a citizen outside of religious freedom should also be same to equally respected and protected. And that should be it. Let the church do what it's supposed to do, and let government do what it's supposed to do. Plain and simple. And the legislature, you go into legislature. If anybody wants to know how to be a legislator, and how to balance what is your religious beliefs with what the needs of the Lord is, you can contact me. I can give you a class. I can go and speak on what the responsibility of government is biblically, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised that it's not what is common thought out there. And Christians and religious people are the same. If you want to know and really understand what your rights and responsibilities are, then you can take my classes as well. But in either case, and I can also comment, if anyone has a direct question, I can comment on those, any direct question you have on this issue and many others. So that is what our comment is for today. We applaud the rights of citizens to be affirmed. At the same time, we do not agree and we disagree and do not agree with those who will use religion either against these measures or for them, putting down religious people and putting down religious thought. I disagree with the use of religion or the attachment of religious ideology to this issue. Because when it comes to a matter of law, it should have nothing to do with religion. It should have to do with the Constitution and the basis of law in the land in which the law is existent. And that's the basic reality. Religion has nothing to do with it. And to use religion and to say, well, these religious people or these they're intolerant and all of that, that issue is totally nonsense, and it should not be applied to this. It has an issue with legality. What is the law? Simple. There's other reasons that the law is the way it is. It has more to do with business, with insurance, with money, financial issues, and financial notes, and all of those other institutions overseen by the government. That's what it has more to do with than religion. It has nothing to do with religion. And that's where your attention and focus should be, not on the religious, not on these church groups, or not on this and that matters of faith. It really does not have to do with faith. Faith here has nothing to do with it. This is a matter of law and of social conscience. And that's it. And religion has no place in this matter. And government has absolutely no place in religion. That's my comment today. Thank you for watching and listening. Again, I can respond to this and any other of our posts, as well as any question you may have, or do you want to have our broadcast on your program? You want me to respond to any questions or an interview? Please contact us through the medium which you are watching now, whichever platform you're watching this. Thank you again, and thank you for watching.